What's up, everybody? It's Andrew coming back at you with another episode of the Jaguar podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to be doing a recap of Jacksonville Jaguars 2022 free agency, and I'll also be doing some grades as well. So let's get into it. But before we start, quick shout out to FL Teams, a Florida sports website. They do great coverage of all Florida sports teams, and I put my content up there as well. It's flteams.com. Link in the video description. So let's get into this, guys. Start off with the Jags pick up Kirk, wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. I like this. I like this acquisition. The Jaguars kind of blew up the wide receiver market. I've said this a bunch of times on FL Teams Live. Check that out, guys. We go live every Wednesday on YouTube, talking about all types of different things going on in sports, in the sports world, baseball, football, basketball, etc. But this deal was kind of a big one. It was a 4-year, $72 million deal, worth up to $84 million in incentives. I like the deal. I think Kirk, he's got great speed, good separation, can get open, runs good routes. The only thing I don't really like is, he's not a very tall wide receiver. He's 5'11", so he's not going to overpower corners with his size. But I think a lot of people question whether he's going to be a number one guy, including myself. I think time will tell. But I still like this because we need to get weapons for Trevor. We need help in the wide receiver room. So I like this pick. I'm going to give it a B, this acquisition. Looking at his stats here, 72 receptions in 2021, 982 yards, 5 touchdowns. His PFF is 72, I think it's 72.7 in 2021. So, he's okay. He's done pretty well last season. Does he deserve the $72 million deal? Or I don't know. I think, he will have to prove that for this upcoming season. So, but I still like it. I give this acquisition a B grade. Let's go to our next acquisition, Brandon Sheriff, left guard from the Washington Commanders. I really like this acquisition. We needed help. We needed a backfill for Andrew Norwell, who actually went over to the Washington Commanders. We lost him to free agency. But I think he's a nice backfill. He's a great run blocker. He gets to the second level very well. He can pull very well. And he's good in pass protection. He gets a pretty big deal, 3-year, $49.5 million, $30 million guaranteed in 2 years. I think the big question about him is, can he stay healthy? He hasn't played a full season since 2016 rather. So if he can't stay healthy, he's really of no value to us. So that's the big question. I hope he can stay healthy for the Jags. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler though. So he has the numbers, guys. He has the experience for an interior offensive line. That's pretty green. I mean, Tyler Shatley, he's been with us a couple years, but we lost Brandon Lindner, we lost AJ Cann, we lost Andrew Norwell to free agency. So we're going to need veteran leadership on the offensive line. Overall, man, I like this acquisition. I'm going to give it a B+. We go to our next acquisition. That is Foye Oluokun, linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons. Led the league in tackles in 2021. Great pursuit guy, can run each side of the field. Great physical guy, can shed blocks. He's a bruiser, makes some really nice hits. Looking at his PFF, I didn't really understand. He got like a 46 overall for with PFF, his rating, and I looked at the numbers, kind of dug a little deeper into it, and he's not very good in pass coverage. I think he got like a 53.2 in coverage, but looking at a lot of the offenses that he's played against, they have an 81% completion percentage against him in coverage, and he has a 5.4% missed tackle percentage, in 2021. So he misses some tackles, but overall, I think we needed help at the middle linebacker spot, losing Damian Wilson, also losing Miles Jack. So we're going to have to draft a linebacker, especially since we waived Dylan Moses. But I like this acquisition. I give it a B. And we go to our next pickup here at the defensive tackle spot, Foley Fatukaze from the Jets. He gets a pretty big deal here, 3-year, $30 million deal, $20 million guaranteed. I don't understand this one since we have Malcolm Brown. I think he's still under contract, and then we have Devon Hamilton as well. I feel like we have some good depth at the defensive tackle spot. We also had Gotsis, but I don't think he's going to get re-signed now that Foley Fatukaze got signed. So, looking at his numbers, they're okay. 46 total tackles in 2021, 25 solo, 21 assisted, 5 tackles for a loss, 6 QB hits. But, he has some durability issues. I mean, he hasn't played a full season yet. So he's just going to be a rotational guy, I think. He may provide some depth if he could stay healthy, but I mean, that's a huge deal, I think, for him. 30 years, $30 million. I don't know. Looking at his PFF, he's got a 61.5 overall. I just don't understand it. I give this acquisition a C rating. We go to our next pick up here at the wide receiver spot in free agency. That's Zay Jones, wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders. He gets a 3-year, $24 million deal. I like his physical traits. He's a tall guy. I think with his height, he can overpower corners. He's got great speed, good separation. So I think he'll be a great, depth addition to the Jaguars wide receiver room. Looking at his stats, they're okay. I mean, 47 receptions, 546 yards, only 1 touchdown last season. But Derek Carr had a lot of good things to say about Zay Jones. So I think he has a lot to prove coming into Jacksonville for the 2022 season, rather. I give it a C+ rating. I think it's just really more of a depth pickup for the Jags wide receiver room. Then we have Arden Key, who we picked up from the 49ers, defensive end, big guy, 6'5", 240 pounds. I think this is a great pickup. I mean, I watched his film. I love his pass rush. He's got a great bull rush, but he's got good technique. He's got a good rip move. He can get separation from the left tackle or the right tackle and can shed blocks and get to the quarterback. Looking at his 2021 PFF, 69.5 overall, but where his strength is really his pass rush. He gets a 79.4 rating for his pass rush, 55 for run defense in 2021. So I don't know. I think he's just more of a pass rush guy. He's going to help on the edge with Dewan Smoot. Looking at his 2021 stats, 6.5 sacks, 11 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble. So, yeah, man, I think he's really going to help this pass rush. And I think in addition to if we get someone in the draft as well, I'll be going more into that in my mock draft episode. But I like this pickup. Going to give it a B+. Okay, so our next free agent acquisition here is Evan Ingram, tight end from the New York Giants. He gets a 1-year, $10 million deal. I like this one. I like this pickup. He's more of a rotational tight end, but he's a good route runner. I think they're going to use him like a wide receiver. I didn't get to see how he pass blocks. I don't know if he's a great pass blocker, but he is. He's a good route runner. So I think he'll help with our tight end room with Dan Arnold. Maybe we draft somebody else in the upcoming 2022 draft. He'll be a backfill for James O'Shaughnessy, who went to the Bears. But, I think he'll be more of a rotational guy. You look at his stats here. 2021 stats: 46 receptions, 408 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. I looked at his PFF. Overall he got a 53.5, and I think that's more because of his drop rate. He has an 8.2% drop rate when he is targeted. So I think that really factors in there too, to his low PFF. But overall I like it. I'll give it a B-. And then we go to our last free agent signing. That's Darius Williams, cornerback from the LA Rams. I really like this one. I think it really adds depth to our secondary, and I think Shaq Griffin's a little questionable in terms of how he played last season. So, maybe they compete for the slot corner spot. I think Williams, he could play slot. He can be a deep coverage guy as well, nickel or a dime back. So I like it. He gets a 3-year, $30 million deal. And he's a Jacksonville guy too. His hometown. He was born in Jacksonville, so it's nice to see him coming back and playing for the hometown. He's not the tallest, corner, 5'9", 187 pounds, but plays with a lot of heart, man. I think he's really probably one of the top free agent pickups by the Jaguars. Looking at his PFF, 65.3. He's good against the run. He's a good tackler, decent on pass coverage. So I think he'll be him and Shaq Griffin. That'll be an interesting kind of situation there. Does he end up getting more playing time than Shaq, or is he more of a rotational player? Who knows? We'll see what happens. But man, we really needed a lot of help in the secondary. So I really like this pick. I give it a B+. So yeah, those are my thoughts about 2022 Jacksonville Jaguars free agency. I give it a B rating overall. Better than last year's free agency. I mean, I think the 2 top pickups last year for the Jags were Jamal Agnew and Marvin Jones Jr. So, thinking about this year for me, I think, the top pickups in my opinion: Arden Key, Darius Williams, Brandon Sheriff, maybe even Christian Kirk if he proves to be a number 1. Maybe Foye too, Olakon, at the middle linebacker spot. But let me know how you feel about Jaguars 2022 free agency. I know a little late to the party here on this one. Let me know how you feel though. Again, leave me a comment on the YouTube video or podcast episode. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Check out the Jamal Agnew interview as well. I had tons of fun doing that, and it's pretty fun to listen to. So I really enjoyed having him come on the show, and hopefully we'll try to get more players here in the off season to come on the show. But you guys stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, go Jags, and I'll see you next time. Duval! What's up, everybody? It's Andrew from the Jaguar Podcast. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, there's more content over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as always. And remember, this is a podcast, so you can find this pretty much wherever you find podcasts. There I'll be doing interviews of current and former Jaguars players, including Joe Schobert, DeJuan Smoot, Shaq Quarterman, etc. And I also do interviews of former Jaguars players, including Natron Means, Jimmy Smith, Tom McManus, etc. So be sure to check out the podcast, subscribe to it, stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, go Jags, and I'll see you next time.